Well, I said I wasn't coming back until tomorrow, but this was my last one for the evening. So I thought I would share. Aha. Ugh, this was a little messy. I promise this will be the last one for tonight. I'm tired. Now, this one I put a piece of vellum. I'm not sure what the vellum is going to do. It just usually just, warps up and looks kind of cool. Sometimes it'll print, but not all the time. Hi, Mary. See, it just absorbs a little bit of the color, and that's about it. You still get a little bit of the green. Can't see it too much on the monitor, but here you can see there's a lot of green in there and some of the purple. And this is one of those large mailing envelopes. That looks kind of cool. Ooh, look at that. I'm not sure what that plant is, but it sure prints nice. I'm gonna set that aside, see if I can match it up with something else. Hey, Vicky. No, I didn't burn my arm. I got last time I went picking for plants, there are some things out there I'm allergic to, and I made a little kind of pokey right here. It went all over and then it broke out over here and it looks just like a burn, but it was just, it was an allergic reaction. A rash broke out and it looked nasty. I even wrapped it up so you guys wouldn't have to look at it. That's it looking nice now. All right. So what I did with this batch is I reused the leaves from the batch before, and the water that I boiled them in was the leftover. And I didn't add anything else to it. It was just whatever was left. And I just added more water. So, yeah, it reacted. The sumac that we have around here, um, it isn't the kind because there's various types. We don't have the sumac that is um, poisonous. We have a different kind in the area that I live in. But there are a couple of plants that I don't even, it isn't so much touching it as much as when it breaks my skin, the woody part of it. And I think there's one in my yard that does it to me. I don't touch that plant anymore. If there's some trimming back or something that needs to be done, my husband always does it. I just don't even touch it. Um, woo! The stuff I put in here, I only use natural colors in my printing. On this one, well, the last one I used the cochineal. So that's what's in this one, leftover. These came out kind of cool. And then this cool stuff here is just marigolds. When my marigolds start to die, I pick them and I let them dry out, and then I'll sprinkle the petals, the dry petals in my prints. I like how it looks. And this is some of that leftover butterfly, oops, butterfly pea tea. Say that fast. That's what I put in the first dye. And so they came out with a little tinge of blue to them. I didn't put a lot in there. And so what I do throughout the year, whenever my plants give any kind of a flower, as soon as they're ready to fall off, I'll pick them. Like this was to my fuchsia. And you can see it leaves a pretty dark imprint on that side. Yeah, that came out pretty. I don't know where that came from. Oh, okay, I see. So what happened was some of this tea, or the buds that I use, it was sitting there and it bled through, and the leaves that were here, then it went underneath the leaf and actually printed the leaf with that tiny bit of dye underneath it. Kind of cool how that works. The butterfly pea is um you can buy it. Let me backtrack. It's sold in dry form so that you can make tea out of it. But the side thing you can do with it is you can dye with it, because when you make your tea, depending on how much you put in your your cup or your kettle or whatever you're making it in, it turns different colors of blue. Anywhere from a nice aqua color, if you don't put very much, all the way to a very, very intense blue. So I throw that in the water every once in a while when I'm doing my printing, just to add a little bit of a blue cast to it. I don't put a whole bunch because it'll get real dark. I just put a little bit. And it's hard to tell the marigold from the print. The print gets so intense. Yeah, it is a dainty blue, isn't it? That came out pretty. I really like the colors on this one, because that one leaf I was talking about last time, it gives off this green cast. Look how pretty that is. And that's from the smoke bush. And that's from a different type of a smoke bush. Pretty cool. See that pretty green again? Oops. Yeah, that sumac that grows up in I think mostly in the northeast, that stuff's nasty as far as being allergic to it. The kind we have here, I've printed with it before. It prints really nice. It's not poisonous at all, and it's a real pretty reddish color in the fall. Look how pretty that is. Ah, I just love that. Yes, Mary. I'll get you the link. I have a freebie on my channel. I recorded that very, very early in my process of learning how to do this. So it has the basics, but you can get some nice prints with the basics, and find out if you think it's something you want to pursue or if you like. And then if you want to learn more, I have a workshop in my Etsy shop um, that goes into greater detail. But on the free one, you can learn a lot. I mean, at the very least, you'll learn if it's something you want to pursue or not. And if what you learn there is enough for you, well, you can get a lot of mileage off of that. But if you want to learn more, you can always get the workshop. Don't let me forget before I leave. I'll put the link in there. And well, if I do forget, I'll try not to. The video that of the reveal that I did right before this one, I had put the link in that chat. But for some reason on YouTube, the chats to the live videos, they're taking like a day before they load up. The video will load up, but the chat won't for a while. So I'll get it in there for you. It varies how many I do. Um, it pretty much depends on what kind of paper I use. If I'm using thick paper, this particular time I'm using very, very thick paper. So I just kind of gauge how much the pot that I'm putting it in can handle. And so I try to get the biggest bang for my buck. If I'm going to be doing it and it takes so long to boil, I make sure I've got it pretty much full. So I've never counted, to tell you the truth. I go by inches as opposed to how many pages. And my pot that I do these in, I think it's about maybe 2.5 inches deep, maybe 3. I've never measured that either. It's under 3 inches. It's probably maybe 2.5, 3 inches. So once I think that that's, you know, coming close to there, I don't want it to go to the top because I want it to be covered with the water. Now, see, that one didn't do too much. It did earlier. But see, some of these, it's the second time I'm using the leaf. So there may not be too much more, natural dye left in the plant. Oh, you're a gardener, so you've got plants. Mm-mm-mm. Yep, yep. This is perfect for you. You would have the patience for it, I think, because it does take patience. And like I was telling the ladies earlier, it's really hard to duplicate anything like another person's. Like, I can't do what yours is going to look like, and you can't do what mine look like. And it has a lot to do with the content in your water in your area, because this is all, has to do with natural chemicals and unnatural chemicals that they might put in the water or that might be in your ground. And so all of that affects, what's in your plant, what's in your water, and how they all interact with each other and your paper. So, oh yeah, you would have a lot of fun with this. And if you start off with what I call a little recipe book, because some of your plants and some of your leaves will print only during a certain phase of a season. So if you try with your plants to do it in the springtime and say nothing happens at all, well, write down what you did and that you did it in the spring. Then try it again in the summer and try it again in the fall. And sometimes you will get spectacular results in one, season and not in the other. And then there's some plants you never get anything, no matter what. But that's the fun part of finding out. Um, no, I don't have any access to water lilies. There's so many things I would love to try that I just don't have access to. But that would be wonderful. Those aren't water lilies that you saw there. That was from the empress tree. It's 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 a kind of wacky tree if you're not familiar with it. My husband, believe it or not, he's when he was we were looking for something. I can't remember what online. And you know how sometimes if you're looking for something, something will pop up on the side that you think you know that you might be interested in. And we were looking about something that had to do with gardening. And so this advertisement popped up for these empress trees. And they had this big old write up on it. And it sounded sort of almost like a con job or something. But they were selling these trees, these little small saplings, I guess is what you would call them, for like $2. That was the shipping and everything. They just wanted to get it out. So I said, you better double check this isn't like an invasion, a species is going to be invading everything, right? And so we looked it up and no, it was a real legit plant and they use it um, in some areas for lumber and it turns into a hardwood. It's a really interesting tree, actually. It grows really fast, and that's why it's used in a lot of places. And anyway, so we get the little tree, and oh my goodness, within a year, that thing had shot, it had shot up within about not even 2 years. The trunk was, you know, like about 20 some inches across. And these leaves here that you see, uh, these leaves, these are the baby leaves. You know how when the little tiny leaves come out before the big ones shoot up? These are the little ones. So you can imagine what the big ones look like. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. They're they're gigantic. They would not fit on the paper. That's why I didn't put them on here. They're too big for the paper, just to give you an idea. So if you ever need a replacement tree or a tree that you want to grow really fast, that crazy tree is it. Now, like I said, some of these are the second time I've used the leaves. Some of them maybe the third time. So they don't have too much of the tannin left in there. Some you can get away with them using them 2 or 3 times. I'm going to put a couple of more batches tomorrow because it's going to be another pretty day. I like to let them dry outside. They were saying in certain parts of the world, I forget where, that they plant those trees and within 3 years they can harvest them for lumber. That's how fast they grow. It was amazing. And people say a lot of things and, they don't have to prove it. So I really didn't believe them. Oh my goodness, I believe it's just the tree is crazy. And then one of the trees, for some reason, it just looked like it, I don't know if it cracked. I don't know if it just got too top heavy or it got sick. I don't know what happened to it. So my husband chopped it down to probably like about 2 feet tall. Well, so something shot out of the side, as trees will do. And that thing must be right now, it's got to be 20 feet tall. Oh, gosh, it's so funny. And they say it can grow in any zone, so I guess it can handle the cold, can handle drought. Sounds like you can't kill them. Oh, and then they give these these little pods. This thing pops out of it, and it gives these little. They're probably about the size of a quarter, maybe, and then out of that shoots out this little white flowers. So it comes out like in clusters, and oops, it comes out in clusters. And then after the little flower dies, then this hanging thing with just the little, I don't know what you call it, the little whatever, the little thing that the flowers sit in. Sort of like the top of an acorn, it kind of looks like. And it just looks kind of exotic, you know. It's kind of a cool tree, actually, now that I talk about it. Blood good Japanese maples. Oh, I bet that would be wonderful. Mm. Yeah, it is. They were saying per acre, you know, how per acre how much lumber you can get in comparison to other maybe hardwoods that take, how many years to grow. It was amazing. And then once it's all harvested, you plant them again, and within 2 years, you've got all the lumber all over again. So yeah, very sustainable. And they look pretty cool too. The leaves are pretty wacky looking. So is the flower. And for $2, you can't say no. I don't know if they're still offering them. This was probably like maybe 5 years ago that we got them. And I tried to get the little pods to see if there was something I could do with them, artsy wise, but I couldn't come up with nothing. I'm gonna still try though, because I got a whole bunch out there in the yard. I always look to see, okay, how can I adapt that, to our mixed media point of view? Got all this dark underneath my nails. So anyway, if you have any smoke bushes in your yard, they print really well. I don't know what part of the country you're in, but if you have eucalyptus, of course, there's hundreds of varieties, and I don't know my varieties very well, but there are several that print really beautifully. If you have a sweet gum tree, if you have oak, if you have maple, if you have pecan. Now, not all of them print pretty all year round. Some of them only during the fall look nice. But you'll have to play around with that to find out what works for you. There's a tree, I think it's called Osage, something like that. Is that what it's called? Osage. That one prints really pretty. And of course, I haven't even started with the flowers. We're just talking about the trees, right? Japanese maple. Oh, I bet you could tell me what this tree is. I have some leaves, and I do not know what the tree is because it's not on my property. It's on the county's property at the courthouse. And I don't know what the tree is. I do have a video. It was from when I very first started. When I get done here, I'll get you the link there in the chat. It is from the perspective of a newbie because it was like the second time I had tried it, but it gives you the fundamentals of how to get started. And if you feel you want to get deeper into it, in my Etsy shop, I do have a workshop on getting more into the specifics. But you can learn a lot from the free one here in my channel, and I'll get that link for you before we go. Woohoo! Pretty wet. Nice big tear down there. There was a lot of weight on that. All right, so let me get all this stuff. I normally do this in the other room because it is pretty messy, but I wanted to show you guys. I do this every once in a while to show you how it looks on the reveal to get you kind of excited to do it yourselves. So it's kind of wet. Let me get a paper to soak that up in. And then all this water and gook. This is really cool stuff because I like grungy stuff. So this all works out for pages in my grungy journals. Nothing goes to waste. Even this paper down here, it won't go to waste either. If it's dirty and messy, it's mine. Where did the purple come from? Okay, well, the batch I did earlier today, I put some of the cochineal in there, and they came out really too dark. I put too much, and you don't need a lot. I put too much. So this batch, I didn't add any but I did add water to dilute it. I'll show you a few of the ones that came from the other batch. It was a bit much. But this is all natural. This is a dead insect, so I don't use any. If I do add colors like I did here, it's always something natural. I don't use like commercial dyes and clothing dyes and things like that. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. Here's some of the other stuff that I threw in the first batch, the very, very, very first batch. And this is the butterfly PT. I'll show you what it looks like before it gets into all this. Let me do one thing at a time. Let me get this out of here. And then what was I supposed to do? Supposed to get this out of here first, and then what? Now, oh yeah, get the video. Get the link to the video. Get all this wet covered up. This is the tea. This is in the sweet pea family, and it's a butterfly pea tea. It's sold as a health drink, and you make your tea, and it has a lot of different things that it says it can help. But the byproduct is that it turns a blue, a really beautiful blue, and depending on how much you put, it ranges anywhere from like an aqua color all the way down to like an indigo color. And so if I want to put a tint in my water, sometimes I will use these. And then sometimes if they kind of infiltrate into the boil, it has those little spots of blue like you saw on some of those pages. So that's what that is. I just got this through Amazon. Got that through Amazon. And this is Jacquard. So wherever you find your Jacquard products, Dick Blick's, the something something trading, you know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I mean. Anyway, you can find this pretty much anywhere where they sell natural dyes. And yes, they're dead, grounded up bugs. Yes, that's it. What Lucy said. Oh, and so earlier today with you can see the difference with no dyes at all. I did these because I was testing out some leaves that ladies had sent me from across. One was from Maine and one was from Michigan. Minnesota. One was from Minnesota and one was from Maine. And each of them sent me some leaves from their smoke bush. It was a different variety of a smoke bush, but I wanted to see without any, adding of anything to it, how it printed out. And so this right here is the one that came, I forget where this one came from. Which one is from, I have it over in the other room. It doesn't really matter. But we'll see the difference, very distinct difference. Now the one that came from one part of the country, it all just kind of stayed in the browns and kind of the yellow tones. But then the other one, the other bush, it was rounder, more like the shape of a round eucalyptus, and it gave off a lot of blue tones to it. We'll run across these real fast. This is all from the same bush, and this is from the other one. See the difference? Big difference, right? So these came out yellow and brown, and this one came out with blues and greens. Look how pretty that is. And right away, you know which one is which already, right? Don't even have to tell you. See the difference? And if you're fortunate enough to be around eucalyptus, these are the colors that the eucalyptus come out. Really pretty. See all the pretty blues and greens. Look at that one. Woohoo! That one's really pretty. So the same type of bush, just a different variety of the same plant. And big difference. How pretty that is. Looks fake, huh? Looks like a jelly print. Ooh, look at that. So I think next spring, I'm going to get me a couple of different varieties of the smoke bush and plant them because I don't have any. And I looked at the prices. They're not cheap. The little, they're small. Of course, when you buy a bush, and they're like $29 for a gallon. I don't know why they're so popular, but for whatever reason, they're expensive. At least to my estimation. These are the ones I put on the bottom. Look how pretty. All right, so that was my experiment with the smoke bush. Okay. So let me go get the link. I'll get the link for you guys. Oh, I already had it here from when I did it before. Excellent. I don't have to hunt for it. Copy. There you go. Paste. Okay, so if you want to know just like the basics, watch my video. You'll get all of the basics of how to do that. And then, hold on. I have a copy. I have an Etsy shop, and in my Etsy shop, let me paste that on there. In the shop, I have a workshop if you want to learn more advanced stuff. But I would stick with the freebie right now. Get a feel for it. You'll know after you've done it once or twice, because you either love it or you hate it. I'm serious. It's one of those kinds of things where you think, "Ooh, I kind of like this," and then you try it and you go, "Oh, I don't think so." It's one of those things that grab you, so you'll know. Do it once or twice and you'll know for sure. And if you love it and you want to learn more, then you can head on over to my Etsy shop. And if you're new here, I have a few new people that I haven't seen here before. On Wednesdays at 7 Central, we get together here on my my channel. It's been a long day, ladies. And we do tutorials based on a kit that I put together once a month. You do not have to get the kit at all. You can play with all of your own stuff. And we have fun learning new techniques. We try to learn a new technique every month to apply into our journal making. So you're more than welcome to come and play with us tomorrow at 7 Central. What else? I have a couple. I don't think they're dry. from my other batch where I put too much of the cochineal. Let's see. Yeah, they're not dry yet, but I'll show you a couple of them. And I'll get that leaf, see if you can identify it. I tried that app, and every time I click on the app to identify it, it comes up with a different tree, so I can't trust it. These were the ones I made earlier. See, it was a little too intense with the cochineal. Just a little intense. But once these dry, these are going to be really pretty. They're still wet. Oops. Don't want to tear them. I think these came out nice. Pretty. I like them. I like how it came out. All right, so here is the leaf. Let's see if anyone can identify it. All right, so it just looks like, you know, a regular old leaf. That's why it gives me so many different names of the leaf, because it's very generic. But all year long, it's just this green color. And then it starts changing, and it turns from a distance in the fall, the whole tree looks purple, like an eggplant color. And that's what happens to it in the fall. And then once it really gets like an eggplant color, then they just fall to the ground. And I don't know what it is. See how it starts getting really dark, and then it falls. But all year long, it's just green. Beech, I don't know what that is. Oh, I better look that up. How tall is a tree? Let me think now. Let me think. It's not gigantic. Well, it's hard to judge because I don't know how long the building is relatively new, but I think it's at least 10 years old, that building. And I don't know if they top them off, but it's trimmed up so that it's easy for me to reach the bottom branch. That gives you an idea, and I'm short. So the bottom branches are probably at the 6 foot level, maybe, and then maybe another 10. It's not a real tall tree at all, and it's kind of roundish. And like right now, the leaves are already like, I haven't been there in like 5 days, but I bet you they're already all down. It happens really fast. That's why I go cruising over there every day to try and get my leaves before they're all down. But see, they have a lot of different shapes to them, and I think that's why it messes up the app, because all of these are the same tree. So it's telling me all kinds of stuff. And I'm sure one of them's right. I just don't know which is right. But anyway, that's what it looks like. Okay, so while we're all here together, I am going to go to Yahoo and see what it looks like. See what that tree looks like that you guys are telling me. Because I'll recognize the tree if I see it. Beech tree, pictures, images. Oh my goodness, all the pictures are gigantic trees, and the tree over there is not gigantic. Okay, let me look at this one. This one, okay, the colors do. Oh, they're showing me too many. See, there's too many different types of beech trees, I guess, because some of the beech trees they're showing, they turn these beautiful autumn colors. This tree does not. It goes from green to eggplant to dead. So I need to find the trees that um let me find this looks familiar. It looks like it might be. Maybe it's a copper beech. This one says copper beech tree. And it looks all eggplanty. This other one looks very similar also. Yep, it looks like it might be a copper beech tree, you guys. Man, a bunch of Columbos out there. Tree Columbos. Uh-oh. Here's another one, but this one's a copper. Yeah, it's a copper too. I think we may know what it is. Uh-oh. Here's a purple beech hedge. Just when we thought we knew what it was. I know the copper's really looking like it might be it. A copper beech. Because that leaf really does have those lines, right? It's got those cool lines that get showing. Yeah, I think you ladies are right. I'm going to try and buy one in the fall. I'm going to see it, or maybe in the spring. And I'll just go and steal them from the ground over at the courthouse. Why get too adventurous, you know? I took a picture of the leaves on that app. And I maybe because there were so many different shapes and so many different colors. I don't know. But because this doesn't look like it all came from the same tree, right? But it did. And the shapes are even kind of weird. Some are kind of oval and then some are really long, and because they're baby ones, I guess, but still. Anyway, I think you ladies are 100% correct. I think it's a beech tree. Good to know. I'm so happy. Happy, happy, happy. So I got to write that down in my recipe book that we know what kind of tree that is now. I highly recommend it. It prints. And what's really cool about it, like I mentioned in the last video, is that it's really hard to get true greens when you're doing any kind of printing. You always end up getting other colors, but it's really hard to get green. And I printed with these in the spring and during the summer, and they don't do hardly anything. And it's right now when the leaves are getting ready to fall off that they'll print this pretty green. Yeah, that's what I was going to do, Lucy. I said next time I go out there and they're out there doing their thing, I was going to ask them. My husband's buddy with the park guy. I should have him ask him. What kind of tree did you plant out there? And speaking of which, my gum trees have gotten way too big. Okay, let me start from the beginning. When we moved here, our property had no trees. It had nothing. The lady, I guess, did not like to, look after the yard or garden. I don't know what it is, but the only trees that we had on the whole property here was one big giant pecan tree. That was it. And all of my life we had been involved in, yeah, Janice, tell me about it. I know. Yes, we know. And because we moved to a part of the country that we were unfamiliar with as far as plants and, different trees we weren't aware of, we bought some trees. And of course, we read what it said, how far apart to plant them, and so on and so forth. So we did that. Well, they lied. It needed to be 10 times as far away from each other as the write-up said. So we got ourselves sweet gum trees. Never heard of a sweet gum tree. Didn't know what it was. It was just on sale. And now I know why it was on sale. Various reasons. It leaves off those, those pods that are a pain when you need to walk or mow or whatever. They're a pain in the butt. Also, they grow really fast, and I guess it grows too fast, and some of the limbs become they're not as strong as you would want them to be. So around here in the part of the country I live in, we get storms, get windstorms, and every season one of those branches crack and fall every season. And now it's grown more, and now it's too close to our house. So now I think we're going to have to chop one of those trees down. Which anyone who has had to hire someone to chop a tree down, it's not cheap to get a big tree out. So that's going to be our next dilemma. So I told my husband, you need to call that parks guy that's your buddy and have him recommend somebody reputable that isn't going to make it crash on our house. Is licensed, bonded and licensed, before we get that tree chopped down. So we have 3 of those trees. But they're my favorite ones to print with. I'm in Arkansas, and those things, they print so beautifully, especially in the fall. So I don't want to get rid of all of them. I want one at least. And so we'll have to let them tell us if we can maybe cut them back and keep them, or if they're going to have to come down. I don't know. It keeps our place so cool. We've noticed a difference, because we have really, really warm summers, and it helps tremendously. But a lot of good that'll do if it comes crashing on the house. You have to weigh the pros and the cons of this. Hi, Davina. Did I say hello? See you later. Thank you for stopping by. So yeah, so that's the scoop with that. What else? I guess that's pretty much it. Did I answer all your questions? They have antiviral properties. What do I have to do to benefit from those properties? I boil them a lot and inhale. Oh. I like how that green looks. Beach, beach, beach leaves. Jennifer. I was just showing the latest reveal. Okay, you can make a tea from oh, I didn't know that. Well, I don't have any more. I'll have to wait till spring. They're all already dried up and ready to fall off. So tea, I wonder if I boil those, if that'll come up, leave some kind of a color. I'm gonna have to try that. The walnut tree is gorgeous for printing. The walnut tree, if you get the galls there, you can make beautiful ink. Mary, what kind of art are you into? Or are you into art? I'm just assuming because you're here. What's your what is your interest besides your gardening? Do you do some other form of art? Infertile seeds of the sweet gum ball contain. Oh. Huh. I guess it would put you to sleep then, huh? Oh no. Oh. You got to start doing this, Mary. You're just gonna dive in, and you're not gonna see an end to it. What's really pretty is when they do this on fabric. I have not, I mean, I've done a few on fabric, but I really haven't gotten to the art aspect of doing it on fabric, because you have to use like you can't use anything synthetic. The best one is to use it on silk, and that's probably the best one is silk. Anyway, it doesn't seem to be my thing because I really wouldn't know what to do with all that. Those artists, they make clothing and things like that with the fabrics that the eco print. I use it in my journals that I make because I do it all mostly paper, and so it works out just fine for me. Um, so this would, yeah, you would really enjoy doing this, Mary. Definitely. If you just made, gifts for friends or whatever you decided to do, they're real easy to make journals with because this is all the pretty stuff, you know. Um, no, getting old to do what? Oh, you mean like your landscape gardening, maybe? Now I just showed you guys leaves. Um, there are flowers that just they print so beautifully. It's unbelievable. I just don't happen to have anything right now with flowers at all. I don't think I do. No, I don't think I have anything. But not all flowers, are equal either. Just because it's a pretty color, it doesn't mean that it prints. It all is what inside of the plant, as you probably already know. Um, so this spring, I'm going to designate a certain area here close to my studio with just wildflowers. I'm just going to seed a bunch of wildflowers, see what happens, and use those for the printing. And that way I'll figure out what print and what doesn't. I know for sure that marigolds do because that's what I did on some of these. They do that really bright orange. Um, Rose petals and the leaves to the roses print really pretty. Geraniums print pretty. Um, what is the name of that plant? It starts with a C. It's mostly known for just its leaves. There's a whole bunch of varieties of them. One of you ladies remember? I don't remember what it is right now. Joe Pye weed. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, the coleus. Yes, there's certain varieties that um print really beautifully. Um Autocorrect, Janice, you know that. I knew you weren't talking about my ear. Is that the right? I don't think that's the right word for the ear either. Anyway, um, like, do I have a piece here? Of that one I tried to eco print and all it did was get yucky. But because I like the yucky look, it worked out just fine for me. I did these. I put some rust in it, and the rust overtook the print of the fabric with the plants. But it came out grungy, and I love it, so I'm okay with it. And very few of the actual leaves did anything. You can see there's a few that actually did something. There's a few right here. You can see a little tiny bit. I've done some without the rust in it, and it actually came out pretty cool. I mean, I've done it, and I've been a lot more successful than these pieces, but I'm very happy with these pieces because I like how the rust and the leaves just made a big old mess. And I like that mess. And before you know it, Mary, you're going to be digging a few holes in your yard, throwing some tin cans in there, and you're going to be resting fabric before you know it. I can see you're going to go down the rabbit hole with us. Here's a couple of prints right there. This was the I think that was the pecan tree leaves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because they come out in that shape like that. And real quick, I'll get you let you see a paper with the pecan leaves so you can get an idea of what those look like when they're printed. Somewhere I got it. Yeah. Get stuck with my grungy stuff. Now this is the branched pecan tree. And pecan tree. Now this is a different paper and a different batch, but this is also a branch from there. I did a whole bunch of those the other day, so you can see how those print. Now these right here are hydrangea leaves. Can't see it too well there, but they do print pretty nicely. Now I don't know what was here and why it turned green. Again, I don't know. I don't know what I put there. Even when I opened it up, I didn't see what caused all that. So, which is pretty, but I don't know how I did it. Don't know how it happened. And so sometimes I make a bunch of batches with all the same leaves. Then I'll do another batch with a different type of leaf. Oh, here's my sweet gum. But that's not the fall leaf. That's just a summer leaf. So it doesn't look as cool as it does in the fall. And then I'll put my packs together with a variety of the different leaves. Ooh, look at that. Ha-ha. Sweet gum, another one. Yeah, that's my favorite part too, Mary, is the reveal, and they all look different, even if it's the same. And depending on, you probably can appreciate this, when it comes to printing, one side of the leaf prints one way and the other side of the leaf prints different. And you can probably explain it better than me, but in layman's terms, one side breathes and one side protects, right? Most leaves, one side has more of a waxy feel, and then the underside is more supple. And so that chemical difference, you can see it in the print. And I think that's like really fascinating too. Ooh, look how pretty that looks. They're different. I got these from my front yard, my leaves in my front yard. These are the ornamental pear tree. They print really good, but only in the fall. Otherwise, they don't look too good. Okay, these are the hydrangea leaves right here. Hydrangea. Oh, sometimes I leave this flower. This is Rose of Sharon, and it they're so thin when they get boiled that sometimes they just flatten out, and sometimes I just leave them because I think they look cool. Now these, a friend sent me these, and these were, I thought I wrote it down. Well, if I could remember what my initials meant. Anyway, I have a whole bunch that I'm going to be printing in the next couple of days that have been sent to me by friends, and I'm going to write down. She wrote down each plant, so I'll write that on the paper so that when it prints, I'll know exactly what plant that came from. So that'll be fun. But anyway, that kind of gives you an idea. Yes, Mary, I'm so happy. I love it when new people show up and they see something they may not have been exposed to before and get excited about it. I love that. I love learning new things. We might get you hooked on making a journal because all of us ladies here that are here right now, what brought us together probably initially is that we all enjoy making journals of different types. And of course, when you like making journals, you're in love with paper, of all kinds of papers. So we all have that in common. We love papers and doing fun stuff with paper. So um, you need to start loving journals and paper. Yes, please do. 7 o'clock tomorrow, Central Time. What part of the country are you in, Mary, if I may ask? Are you Central, East, West Coast? Seven o'clock tomorrow. Come and just hang out if you can. We do crazy stuff. We're going to be working on some journals tomorrow, and we do that every Wednesday. So feel free to, if you can't next week, feel free anytime, or watch the replay and see what we're all about, what we do. Let me go put these away, and then I'll get your last questions before we say goodnight. Okay. Geneva, what are you smiling about? What are you smiling about? She knows the word substrate. She's a hoity-toity like us. She has to change her substrate. You certainly do. Get out of that dirt and get in the dirt with us. You'll have a lot of fun. Oh, Virginia. Oh, my goodness. You have all the beautiful trees over there. We got some Virginia people. Where's Tamar? She's out there in Virginia. All right. So we look forward to whoever can come by tomorrow to play. Oh, put this in there. I got my beech tree. I'm all happy about that. That was very successful. You guys got some new tea to drink and think about. You got some dead bugs that you can die with. Hey, we're a bunch of happy campers. See? All the fun stuff you can play with. We don't discriminate. Live stuff, dead stuff. Yeah, going from earth to paper. There you go. It's still all part of the elements, right? Part of the trees. You're still there. You'll still be commingling. All right, ladies, thank you so much. And don't forget to follow the links up there to the free class. When I was initially learning how to do the eco printing, and that will get you definitely started down the right track as far as where to begin. And then, you'll know pretty soon if it's your thing or not. You will know for sure. Yep, all natural stuff. Okay, ladies, thank you so much. I got to clean up my mess over there. I have another boil on the stove right now, and it's probably going to be done any second, and I got to get it laying out to dry. See all of you hopefully tomorrow night. Thanks again. Good night.